know. In the know. Let's start the show. Michellita's on your radio. Turn your speakers up. Show your girls some love. We gonna have a good time and keep you in the know. Let all your troubles go. In the know. 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 In the know.
Spirits. Hey everybody, we're back. Listen, Miss Black Jacksonville, USA has been a little busy. I had a couple of workshops and things to do. Last week we had our sisterhood conference at church, which was incredible. But we back in the studio, and when I tell you we have the guests that's gonna kick this return off well, so tell your friends, all right? Tell them, go ahead and share, and make sure that you stay tuned to this incredible interview. I'll let you know her name in just a minute, okay? I've been doing this for myself, for my personal growth, going live and just kind of looking back at it. Because the old me is like, I want to make sure it's all packaged right. It's all, and it's like, no, ma'am, we're new. We need to be more vulnerable. We're open to the edit so we can see the growth. And so I'm like, this is why we go live.
This took me back. I was in my second master's, and I took a speech class in my seminary.
Yeah.
And the white professor, he said, can I speak to you after class? I'm like, oh God, what now? He said, I don't know how to say this, but I told my wife about you. He said, you should be doing radio.
They know early.
30 years ago.
See there? They know. They know. It's undeniable. The gift is there. There's a thing in the voice, those decibels of our sound, that just connects with people, that makes them feel comfortable. Oh, he is so good. Hello, Jacksonville, Florida, and those who are listening via the app, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me on this beautiful Saturday, October 19th. It feels so good. We can finally feel fall in the air. I think today the high is 75 and it feels incredible. This is the thing I love about my city during this time of year. But hopefully you're having some fun today with your family or your friends. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Mental Health Awareness Month. There's so many things. I think it's Domestic Abuse Awareness Month as well. So there's so many powerful things to connect with during this month in the community. And even by just sharing a word of encouragement to someone who you think or someone that you know fits into that category. I know I have family members and friends that are breast cancer survivors. Thank you, Jesus. And then even people who are domestic abuse survivors. So there's so many opportunities that we still have in this month to be a light and to encourage those people. So while we're talking about the nationals today, I love to do this because, you know, all over the United States and even parts of the world, there are days that are appointed as national days. So I picked just a couple that I thought were interesting. Let me know if they're interesting to you as well. It's also National New Friends Day. So you may have acquired a new friend. I got a new friend today. I can't wait to introduce her. She's in the studio today. So show that friend some love. It's also National Sweetest Day. So you might have a sweetheart in your life, or you might have a sweet tooth. So either way, you can celebrate today with National Sweetest Day. And then the last one, okay, get ready. And I know our guest is going to help us with this. Today is National Evaluate Your Life Day. Okay, now that's a little heavy. Evaluate your life. Listen, this dash, we don't know how long it is. Only God knows that. So I think this will be a great opportunity for us to do some self-evaluation, especially we're at the end of the year, we're in the last quarter, to see what has been working, what hasn't been working, where you need to pivot. Make that evaluation now so that way you can finish strong and start strong, because 2025 is knocking. I can't believe it, but it's knocking at the door, and we're going to be ready to open it wide for all that God has for us. But today in the studio, oh my goodness, you guys are in for a treat, and I'm going to do this now. I want to give the phone number because we're going to open up the phone lines for you to call in. If you have any questions for my guest today pertaining to her profession, pertaining to her event that she has coming up, feel free to call in, and the numbers are 904-766-9285 and 904-766-3401. Again, the number is 904-766-9285 and 904-766-3401. Anytime during the show, feel free to give us a call. All right, y'all ready to hear my new friend? Here's my new friend. Buckle up. Dr. Frida Doxey is an incredible woman. This is impromptu. An incredible woman. We've been talking off air before we even began, but I can tell that her time is now. This is a Rhema moment for her, and I'm so just honored for her to be on our show today so that you will know what I feel in the studio even now. So Dr. Frida's greatest desire is to use her God-given gift, passion, and expertise to help people from all walks of life enjoy a transformed and vibrant life. As a highly acclaimed public speaker, her message of transformation has taken her to South Africa, Europe, and many cities in the United States, where she has unequivocally helped teens, adults, athletes, coaches, and parents transform their life. Dr. Frida is the business owner of a mental health practice, certified trainer, author of 2 books, convention speaker, and serves on the executive team for the Women's National Basketball Association. That's the WNBA, y'all. Volunteer chaplaincy program. Dr. Frida is a Hall of Famer in the women's basketball at Cheney University and played for Naismith Hall of Famer C. Vivian Stranger. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. You'll fix it for me. She is the founder and host for the Release My Daughters Clubhouse every Wednesday at noon. In November 2024, she will present the much-awaited Release My Daughters Women Empowerment Seminar Brunch event in Jacksonville, Florida, right here. So you want to be present. Dr. Frida is the wife of Pastor Gentry Doxey, PhD, where they are the pastors of Agape Church International. She is blessed to be the mother of 2 adult daughters. Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, wherever you're listening, I want you to clap it up for my incredible guest, Dr. Frida. Hi, Dr. Frida.
Hello, new friend.
New friend is in the studio. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
I am excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me to be here, too.
Man, listen, there's so many great nuggets that we've gotten. I'm going to let you guys in on it. So we're going to go back before we come present. So tell us where you're from and what brought you here.
Oh my goodness. So real quick, born and raised in Natchez, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I, humpback.
Hey, that's it.
And when we moved to Atlanta, Georgia in my 10th grade year.
Okay.
So, little country girl goes to the metropolis,
Yes.
Georgia. And then from there went to college and met my cowboy.
I know that's right. I know that's
Yes, I did. Ginger Doxey. So we met in Dallas, Texas. I was working on my second master's, and I was determined. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good guy.
Second master's. You missed that. Okay.
And this young, good-looking man decided that he wanted to approach me, but I was like, God, I'm good. You haven't married me yet, so I'm just going to be dedicated to you.
Yeah.
And but he won me with a laugh. He won with a laugh.
Humor's so important.
Oh, yes, it is.
You know,
yes, it is.
Wherever my cowboy is, praise God, I'm speaking that thing in the name of the
Come,
Father.
cowboy, come.
That laughter, it is medicinal. Like, it really is healing. And I look for that whenever, those opportunities present. The healthy banter, the fluidity, the joy that overflows.
And the Bible talks about laughter as what? Yes. It's like good medicine, and it really is. So I can be too serious, like you said, that type A personality coming out. I can be too serious. And this young man, and I say young man because we'll talk about that later, why I call him a young man. And then we got married, y'all. We had 2 daughters. We moved to Atlanta, Georgia. So we was in Atlanta for several years. And then God said, come to Jacksonville, Florida. And that's how we ended here.
And most people, when they say that, it is a God move. Jacksonville is a different kind of town. So it definitely has to be something that God has an appointment.
Yes.
He has a mandate or something for you to accomplish here. And so we're so glad that you're here, that you are here.
Yes.
So what school did you attend?
Ooh, high school. And it's a well-known high school in Atlanta, Georgia called Price High School.
Okay.
And the reason is because we had one of the phenomenal basketball teams in the state of Georgia. Yeah. And when I was in Mississippi, I played basketball in the 6th grade. Okay. So they call it middle school, right? Middle school. And it was a well-known program too. So basketball has been my platform for really all my life.
Yeah.
And God has opened up doors for me in the area of basketball. So then I went to college. Funny story, real quick. I got a scholarship at Tuskegee Institute. I'm sorry, Tuskegee people out there, but I didn't go.
Oh, okay. This is the apology. That's why the apology was in the beginning. Okay.
Because C. Vivian Stringer, Naismith Hall of Famer, most people in the basketball world know who she is. She was at my high school, walking down the hall, and she said, "You want to come to Cheney?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. Where is it?"
Immediately.
She said, "It's in Pennsylvania." Well, I had taken a visit there because I used to write poetry, and I won a poetry contest. And we got an opportunity to go to Cheney, at that time, Cheney State College. So it's the first HBCU. I should have asked that question for your audience, like, what is the first HBCU? And most people won't get it.
Oh my goodness.
But it's Cheney University.
Cheney University is the first HBCU. Okay, mental note, done. Okay, much kudos.
And from there, undergrad, I went to Missouri. I coached there at University of Missouri while I was working on my master's. And then from there, went to Florida State University. So I've been in Florida before, but I was coaching at Florida State University. So all the Seminole fans.
Now, what position did you play in basketball?
I'm 6'2". Take a guess. Take a guess. If
Oh,
you
I'm bad. I'm gonna screw this. I'm gonna say point guard.
Well, I wish.
So that's how you can tell basketball. I do better with football, believe it or not.
All right.
I watch both, but man, I'm horrible when it comes to.
Back then, I was the tall person.
Okay.
So today, I would be a point guard compared to some of the players in the WNBA, but I played the position number 5, which is the center position.
Center. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to look up some videos.
I
I know you out there.
I have a big afro then.
Yes, that's even better. Oh my goodness. So we see now that you are a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great need and what a great time right now for all of our psychologists, psychiatrists, psychotherapists in this new wave and awakening of mental health, which is such a beautiful thing, especially now in the Black community where that door is really, it's been open, but more are walking through that door. Yes. What inspired you to get into that field?
Well, it was actually when I was at Florida State University, I was assistant women's basketball coach, and I noticed, God brought it to my attention, that people would, hey coach, can you talk? Hey coach, can we talk? Hey coach, can we talk? And I found, it's like, okay, God, I'm coaching, and I feel like I'm doing psychotherapy. That was not on my agenda.
Okay.
My agenda was to retire as a women's basketball coach.
Wow.
And so I remember listening to Charles Swindoll, most people know him, and he said, if you want to know your gift, he said, watch what people are doing and saying around you. And people, like I said, so much so people say, oh, back then, are your shingles out? Your shingles out. And it wasn't just the players, it was administration, it was adults, it was parents, it was a little bit of everybody. So I decided to pray and ask God where he was taking me. Yeah. And he said, this is the path that I'm taking you.
Man, and you know, that's so encouraging because sometimes we can self-doubt. We're going to talk about self-sabotage and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes when we're in question about what is my purpose? What am I called to do? And there's so many different philosophies and formulas out there for a person to arrive at that. But sometimes we do have to trust what our peers, our family members are saying. You're good at that. You strive at that. That really is inspiring to me. And even until you believe that I'm capable, or this is the role that God wants me to play, because the gifts and callings are without repentance. Even sinners, people that are not in the faith, can see what is undeniable for what you've been called to do. So it's like the calling was already there. It called you out. Because God knew along the lines what you were going to be doing with it.
Yes, and was not on my radar and didn't want to do it. Like I said, basketball had always been that open door. We talked about open door earlier. It has been that open door, and we just came out of the year 57-84, which is the year of the open door. And now we're in 57-85, which is the year of the mouth. And so when God opened that door for me, I did resist. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not on my radar.
This is not fitting into the plan.
Okay.
My plan.
And God, oh my goodness, new friend, God shut those doors. I tried my best to stay in basketball.
And how did that make you feel when those doors were shut, locked, sealed?
You know, first the flesh for me came out to say, why? You know, this is a great thing to do. And then when I settled and began to just hear God and pray, God said, this is where I'm taking you. And I was in Tallahassee, Florida, and God said, I'm taking you to Dallas, Texas.
A whole nother region.
Totally different region.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about who you've been able to impact so far in this role. And we're going to get into this event that you have coming up, because I really believe in you talking about this event that's about to happen. Is really going to be kind of an anchor for where this conversation is going to go today. So we're going to have a quick commercial break. Now, Dr. Frida, I asked her what are some inspirational songs, some songs that just kind of, you know, give her that extra boost, because when life is lifing, we need something quick to kind of jolt us and say, hey, we still got work to do. Even though this is happening, you still have a call. You have work to do. So one of the songs that you gave me was...
Which one you gonna play? Trinity, or you gonna play Jacqueline Carr?
I think we should do Jacqueline.
Yes.
Let's kick it off.
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and
Let's do
hear Jacqueline Carr's song, and I think that is gonna really be an incredible inspiration and segue unto the second half of our interview. So first commercial, and then our song. Do you hear a lot of feedback? We're gonna ask her what's going on, because I hear it too.
Mastering techniques for better diction, tone, and delivery of commercials, reels, ads, and business is what you can expect. In just 2 hours, receive your professional video version. Only let a polished voiceover technology start your journey as a voiceover artist. Join us today and discover the difference. Professional voiceover.
Yeah, she's gonna come over and she said we can hear fine, but maybe she doesn't come in and switch a mic out or something whenever the song is played. I'm like, ooh, what's going on? This is really.
Oh, you heard it too. Okay.
Yeah, it's in my ears too. Yeah, but I think the output is okay. Hi, Maria. Hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Holidays are coming up, so hopefully I'll see you soon. One of the gatherings. Oh man, look at me talking about point guard. I knew I was going to screw that up. Oh my goodness. I had one brother that played basketball. I don't know what my brother played in high school.
How tall was he though?
Not very tall.
So he probably played point guard.
So maybe that's why. I'm 5'5". I was 5'6". I'm 5'5". So he's about 5'8", 9".
Yeah.
So
yeah.
because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 is that point guard, like a quarterback. 2 is and 2 and 3. 3 does shooting a lot. 2 would be the one that can also help the point guard out and shoot. 4 is the one that can shoot, can dribble, but they mostly play down in where the paint area. Then 5 is really in that paint area.
Okay.
This is the one that gets beats up a lot.
Oh, because that's the one, like the little you're right here.
Yeah.
To kind of make sure nobody can get to it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great
So
visual.
you gotta be quite aggressive.
Oh my goodness.
I got aggressive. I learned to be aggressive.
Yes.
So I went to college. I was like, right.
Right.
Welcome to the competitive
Hey.
I am. Okay, so let's see if you can.
You gonna give her that one?
Yes.
Okay. I got it.
Let's look at this thing right here, right?
Okay.
And this is the same one I was using.
You were using this
Mm-hmm.
one? Okay.
Yeah, I was using this
Okay.
one. She was using that one.
Okay. I'm gonna cue it in here to see if I can hear you clear.
Okay.
But you were heard, but it was just I had all three because it really is.
And I thought I heard a third mic.
Yeah.
So it needs to be turned off?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Let me
Because I thought I heard an extra like
That's
sound. I thought it was her because I saw her calling and trying to fix what was going on. Check one. Check one. Talking to your mic.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, she can
Okay.
hear. We
Okay.
can't hear because the music's on.
Okay.
But when that music comes off.
Yeah, just a hint of a static. Do you hear any static? Is that normal?
I do hear static.
Uh-huh.
I still hear static. Is that normal?
yeah. That's
Is it just the headphones maybe?
Maybe, but you're clear.
You
on
can't
here.
hear. Okay, good. That's
you
what matters.
want to play the whole song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if well, that song was what, about 3 minutes?
I have to let me see.
The song is like 4 minutes long.
Okay.
It's 4:08.
408. I'll just say,
Okay.
and then you can fade it down. We'll come back in there.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Candace.
Okay, you're welcome.
So do your girls play basketball too, or did they?
They chose volleyball.
I told people that. I said, you know what? I'm not pressuring my daughter into anything that I was into because I don't want my heart to be broken, number one. And God has a path for her, so whatever she gravitates to, that's what I'm having. Because it seems like that's how it ends up sometimes. It's like, no, because you did that, I'm going to do this. Because I want to be in that shadow or whatever, you know.
Right. Yeah, Mama had a big shadow. They did try though.
Yeah.
They went to Florida State University basketball camps 3 times, and they were like, "Nah, Mom, my daughter don't like people touching on her." She's like, "Mom, I don't like them touched on me."
I know, that's right.
So
Okay.
they both of them found volleyball, and they did well. One got a scholarship.
Awesome. I played volleyball in middle school. I actually enjoyed it. Then I went to track. But that was it. That was the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Hey, Frankie. And we thank Jacqueline Carr for reminding us that we are winners. We are more than conquerors. We are overcomers, regardless of what negativity may be trying to block us and keep us from moving forward in our lives. We declare today that we are already winners. And Dr. Frida, I'm sure you had a lot of wins in your day.
Yes, ma'am.
On that court
Yes, ma'am.
and off the court.
Yes, ma'am.
And because of that, everybody that's listening in, again, the number is 904-766-9285 and 904-766-3401 if you want to call in and ask Dr. Frida any questions. She has an incredible event that is coming up. Can you introduce that? Before the event is introduced, tell us, what was it that made you say, it's time? It is time for this event, because there's so many events similar to this that many women have in the community. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes it's a bit overwhelming because it's like, oh, another one of the, oh, and another one of these. And it makes it difficult for people to make a decision on which one to say, oh, but this one is unlike the other ones. This is the one that I need to be in position for and need to be in the house for. So tell us what brought you to creating this event, and tell us about the event and why people should be here.
It was February in 2021, so it was just coming out of COVID. And in my prayer time with God clear as day, I heard the Lord say, release my daughters! Exclamation mark. And I shuddered and thought, whoa. And I kept praying to God, and he said it again. And he gave me the platform, he gave me the words. I was going to speak at, actually one of the speakers going to be coming, Dr. Emma McDuffie out of Claremont, Florida. I was going to speak at her church. I had my sermon, everything ready, and God said, that's not what you're going to say. He said, I want you to make a clarion call, make a declaration as of this day. This is what's going to happen. And he said, I'm doing it in the atmosphere. I'm doing it in the universe. It's not just right here in Florida, any place specific. It's all over. And I remember standing up, getting ready to steal. Like, is this what you want me to say? Because I have that message. Yeah. And he said, open your mouth. And he said, I'll give you the words to say that. As I opened my mouth, I began to say, this is what the Lord said, release my daughters! Exclamation mark. And the people, it just resonated in the place. So much so that God gave me a declaration for the women to stand to say and for the men to stand to say. Because part of God's releasing his daughters is that he needs the man to come into agreement. There are brothers like my husband who are out there to say, you know what? And when I say brothers, I don't mean a particular race, but I'm talking about men in general. God said, I need my men are going to also be a part of the release. I said, God, what is release? Release that set free. L-E-A-S-E is a lease. You no longer are leased out.
Come on, yeah.
To those who are not God's chosen. He said, I am the one that's created and shaped and made. I said, God, and he said the second part of that was black women. Real specific. God said, 2021, God said, I'm telling my daughters of colors, come out.
That's right.
Come out. And two ways you come out. You come out from whatever is holding you back. So there's people, places, and things, concepts, ideas, and concepts. I said that already. But he said, you also got to release yourself.
Yeah.
What are you holding yourself back from?
Yeah.
So it's two. And then the third part is release two. So you can flow in your area. And so he gave me that in 2021. And I just been everywhere. He said, everywhere you go, when people ask you, what are you going to say? He said, you're going to say, release my daughters. And each time I said, he said, I'm also showing you that. He said, I want you to start watching world reviews. And so I started looking at, because I'm international minded, I'm looking at international news. You'll see black women, women of color, all women are seemingly coming out and coming up. Dallas, Texas, the Mavericks have their first president, a black woman. You're seeing this all over. We saw Kamala Harris. I don't know who you vote for. I'm just talking about what God says, right?
Yes.
Right? God released her. And so me as well. And then God said, now, I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do with it? He said, you just keep saying that. And it was, what is this, 2024? It was last year. God said, I want you to have a platform.
Wow.
I said, this is a conference. It's not a conference. This is a seminar. This is a celebration because of women. And here's the other piece. He said, I was walking one day because I do a lot of walking. God said, I want you to release my women veterans.
Tell us more about that.
If you know, well, research shows that women, when you talk about military, MST is called military sexual trauma. More women than men also experience MST, experience military sexual trauma, which is basically been violated sexually. And so many of my women, and I work with women in groups and one-on-one, I work with women veterans and all veterans in my practice. God said, I need my daughters in military to be released because they have been hurt and harmed, right? And that leads to PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome. And you know about, so MST is not in the DSM-4, DSM-5, which is a diagnostic statistical manual that we use as therapists and psychologists, psychiatrists to diagnose someone. But MST is not in there. So there's a political, there's a policy that is holding those women captive. And
here you are providing a platform and giving voice to that, to let them know that they're not lost, they are seen, and that there is healing for them, even amidst all the other things that have been identified. That's powerful, Dr. Frida. That is powerful. And I love what you said in terms of we having to free ourselves. I feel like that's the hardest part because there's so many reminders of the bondage, of the trauma, of the abuse, of the failure. And, you know, I think naturally we just kind of go within and say, I should have did this, or I was smarter than that, or why didn't I listen to them? All these different things that come in our mind to say, it's your fault, which means, no, you can't forgive yourself because it's your fault. So you just got to live with the consequence of that. And that is a lie.
Yes, L-I-E, right? Self-forgiveness is so important. And when we don't have self-forgiveness, in many ways, are holding God captive. If that's such a thing, but you understand what I'm saying? So all your Bible theologians, theologian out there, don't correct me on that. Basically what it is I have to forgive myself knowing that who I am, right? So here comes the release from God. It says, now you're going to know who you are.
Yes.
And when we know who we are, we'll forgive ourselves.
Yes.
And we'll release ourselves from any bondage and things that we're holding on to. We will no longer allow that to happen.
I love that. You're taking me back to a moment, and we're going to talk about this event, when it is, how people need to find out about it. We're going to delve in a little bit more. But with that forgiveness, God showed me probably about 20 years ago, I was dealing with some condemnation. I can't remember what was going on, but it was hard for me to let it go and just receive the forgiveness that God had already made available when he died on the cross. And I read a book, and I think someone else had reminded me, they said, when you don't forgive yourself, you're basically saying, Jesus, what you did on the cross wasn't quite enough. So I'm going to pick up the slack and allow myself to be denied of your goodness, be denied of the blessings that you have for me. So thank you for what you did on the cross, but I'm going to hold on to this a little longer. And when someone said that and I read that, I was like, oh my God, who am I to walk around holding this burden, thinking me holding on to it is doing a service for me, when God is saying, I'm bigger than that, died, knew you were going to do it, which is why I made available the blood to forgive you so you can get on with life in this call that I've given you to do. Release my daughters. Release.
And the possessive part of that is, as we say it for ourselves, as we're talking to that part of us, it says, release. God said, release my daughter.
Yeah.
And so what trauma happens for most of us at a young age, so he said, release my daughter. She does no longer need to be held captive. Release that little girl. Release that young woman. Release that adult, whatever it happened for you. And trauma is on a spectrum, right? Trauma is I watch you get beat up to those who serve in the military and, in fires and things of those natures and wars. So it's on that spectrum. So God is, I need you to release that girl and let her go free. Now let me talk to the grown woman.
Tell us, I'm excited. Tell us about this event that you have coming up. What can people expect? Who should they bring with them? And what are some of the practical tools? Because I'm all about what I can take with me after the event, because we'll go and be all hype and, have those emotional moments. And then you leave out, you're like, oh, here's life again. Right back where I started. Yeah. So what are some things that they can expect?
That's me, new friend.
Yes,
the same way. I don't like going to places and not being able to take something and apply while I'm there. And when I leave.
I love that. While I'm there.
While I'm there, I apply it. So we're going to have, of course, all the swag bags and the gifts, because me and my husband are big givers. Of course, you're going to have music by Mila E. She's going to be a psalmist. Of course, we're going to have, vendors, right? I say of course, because usually that's what you're going to have. Now, here's the difference. So the two speakers who are going to be there, both spoken to my life. Dr. Emma McDuffie, I've known her for almost 40 years. So I was just a young girl.
Oh.
Dr. Cleopatra Steele out of Lake City, Florida, also spoken to me. So these are two generals for me, right? And then the one in the middle, I have her in the middle, Dr. Nicole Guerra. She's another speaker, but she and I share the same passion, meaning that to encourage and build people up and make it so that you'll change in the moment, and not just change later. So that what you're going to have that you never have it before. My heartbeat also is that women are financiers. I mean, you know how to handle your finances.
Come on. It's holiday season coming up too. In our last guest, we talked about kind of prepping and planning for these holidays, so that way we don't fall into that trap, because January's coming as well. So that's really good.
Right, spending is happening now. So my heart is that women start from the age really of 18, right out of high school, up until your adulthood, 80s, 90s, what have you, that we know how to manage our money. The Bible talks a lot about money. Sometimes, according to one theologian, talks more about money and everything that relates to money more than salvation. So that says to us, to me, and to everybody, I need to pay attention.
I need to pay attention.
He intended for us to be money managers. Right? There's many words for that. And so my heartbeat is that Denise Boykins here in Jacksonville, Florida, she's a VP at Fifth Third Bank. She's going to come and be on the panel, and she's going to be talking about that as well. I can't tell you now, y'all. There's going to be some giveaways.
Okay. We like free stuff.
Right?
We
That's
like
going to
food
help.
and free stuff.
that's going to help you manage your finances.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be another part. Megan, some of you may know Megan Hayward. She's married to the NFL former football player. She has her own story and testimony that I'm not going to share here, but she has her own business as well.
Okay.
She's going to be on the panel. Satara Bunch, she's I'm going to say it's Satara, you're going to get me. She's my personal trainer, but I've been MIA.
Okay. Uh-oh. She coming for you now. She said, you done put my name out there, but you hadn't been with me, doctor. So you need to prepare, get your schedule together this week, make room, because she's coming for you.
Linda Feliciano is our tax preparer. She has her own personal story. That's the reason why now she has her own business. She's incredible when it comes to preparing the taxes. She's going to be the platform as well. Dr. Kathy Cook is a dentist out of Columbus. She's been a long-time friend. She's going to be our moderator. So you're going to get each of these people that I'm talking about, they're about practical application. Let's do it right now.
Setting you up globally, family-wise, personal-wise, for success, healthy on the inside and on the outside. And this event will be taking place on Saturday, November the 2nd. Saturday, November, mark your calendars wherever you are. You can do a voice recording, a little reminder. Saturday, November the 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. An incredible full day right before Thanksgiving, okay? Not right before, but the beginning of the month. But you already know you're starting to think about Thanksgiving because November is going to be there. What is the ages for this conference?
Right, so 17 and up. Even teenagers can come because it's for teenagers as well. Children can be there, but it really is for the adult woman. So that's why I say, 17, 18 and up. So you can register at www.releasemydaughters.org.
What an incredible event to mark on your calendars. Before they get too full, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we're going to listen to Dr. Frida's second favorite song that she's going to share with us about a book right here that she had. We'll segue just a little bit. It's still going to be talking about our daughters and our women, but a special category of women we're gonna be able to share about. So quick commercial break, and this song, Thai tribute. This is going to be the proclamation, pre and post, release my daughters, that all things, including you, are going to be made new. More after the break. Good deal. Now you wrote 2 books as well.
Yes.
What are your books?
So the first one is a devotion.
Okay.
It's a 31-day devotion.
Okay.
So God gave me that 31-day devotion that happened. We got here in 2013. I want to say by 2015, God released me to do that devotion. Then later on, for years, God had been saying to me, He said, you will be out of business as a therapist. And people just said no. He said, you wouldn't be in practice. He said, but my sons and my daughters are not saying no, which is family setting, right? I said, okay, God, I found a book. She helped me. She said, you can just write that book.
Yeah.
So I wrote, it's called 50 Ways to Say No. 50.
Is it on Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I need to put it back on Amazon.
Okay.
I took it off.
Okay.
50 is a number for Jubilee. So $50 is, none of this is coincidence. I don't think it's coincidental. So people are like, why $50? I said, because 50 is the number of Jubilee and you're going to be set free, released, right? 50, release. So I have 50 principles in my book, 50 Ways to Say No.
I need that book. I love that. Even being comfortable with the word no.
Yeah.
Giving it and receiving it, I feel like is so important because, this is my season of vulnerability. I will, a lot of times, sometimes, probably more than I desire, will even avoid the requesting because of the no that I've already in my mind feel like it's going to be attached to the request. When it's like, but you don't know. And so what if they do say no? Why does no have that much power over you? And it's rejection and all those things that, kind of are connected to that too. But that was then, that was then.
This is now.
Oh, I'm new. No, that's cool. No
Like
problem.
what you said, why have it now? You kept saying now. I'm like, God, she's going to have me run up in this little room. Because it is now is the time.
It's now.
Yeah. And he told me earlier, he said, this may just be for you. So I'm like, God, what do you want me to say this thing so it's coming out now? He said that, and you said that was then. This is now.
This is now. And that can be an everyday thing. That then and now can literally be every day, because life is, it does what it does. It makes you feel like you have those setbacks that are so monumental and just so devastating. You're like, but tomorrow, but you know what? In this moment, I can decide in the next hour that I'm new again. It doesn't have to be a long period of time, a process. It is truly that mindset and coming into agreement with God has already said, because he already knew everything that was going to happen. He's rooting for us to say, okay, that happened, but what can you do now? Because you still got 10 hours of this day. You don't have to waste this 10 hours because of this moment of what happened. There's so much more. And so,
and as Frida says, he has made all things new. It's a continuation. It's not boom, new, and that's it.
Done.
He said it's a continuation.
Oh man, there's so much.
Like every day, for those of us who wear eyelashes and every day we put it on for the most part.
Yes,
he said that's it every day.
Yeah.
I'm making it new
because he has to wash. We gotta wash and then come on. That's a whole other one.
I know, right? I know, right?
To wash and reapply every day. Forgetting most things that y'all behind. Come on, every day you got to wash and redo. But I love the Lord.
Yes, I love him every day. And you was asking me, I was thinking, how did I get here? And I had that resistance, doors was closed, you can't do this, can't do basketball. And I remember on my stairwell when I in my steps living in Tallahassee, Florida, I was just screaming at God. I said, I'm good. He said, I'm good.
Because at the end of the day, and even with this pageant and stuff, I always tell God, I want what you want. Because you know all things. You know what's attached to any open door or closed door. So I've already won. I'm already content because you're going to place me where I'm supposed to be. That's throughout life. And I'm I'm so grateful for that maturity. And that freedom that comes with that, because you can just be so locked in because the outcome wasn't what I thought. But God is like, but if you trust me, you'll be okay. Hey. Everything new. Hopefully you are feeling brand new. We got 20 more minutes left for the In the Know radio show, and I pray that you have heard something that is encouraging you and letting you know that new can start now. If you haven't done so already, mark your calendars for Release My Daughters Women's Empowerment Brunch. That's taking place on Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can register at www.releasemydaughters.org for more information. And of course, as we are here at the Victory Station, AM 1360, FM 94.7, you should have your tickets by now for the Victory 4535 Anniversary Scholarship Banquet. Listen, this year is the one to be at, okay? There have been some in the past, but this is the year that you want to make sure that you are in the house. We're going to have special guests. Okay, be ready. Special guest, Bishop Marvin L. Winans is going to be in the house, and that's taking place on Friday, November 15th at 7 p.m. at Deerwood Castle, okay? So this is your time to put on your after five, put on that gown that you had in the closet all this time, put on that tuxedo. You might need to make sure you still fit it, but make sure you are there November 15th, 7 p.m. at Deerwood Castle. Make sure that you get your ticket. For more information, you can call 904-766-9955. And if you're just now joining us in the studio, I am here with Dr. Frida Doxey. Oh my goodness, WNBA former player. She is connected with the organization. She is an author. She is a pastor. She is a psychotherapist. She is my new friend. That's my favorite title. She is my new friend, and she has been dropping jewels, nuggets, boulders on us through these last couple of minutes on what we need to do to shift our thinking and to walk in total freedom. And she has a book in front of her that I'm looking forward to reading. I'm looking forward to reading in advance because you got to prepare, huh? You got to prepare for where you're going. You can't prepare when you're in it. You got to prepare before you get there. So what is this book that you have, Doctor?
Thank you for saying that. Prepare where you're going. I did the same thing. I was single then. And I said, God, prepare me because I'm not ready for marriage.
Yeah.
It took, and I'm going to take, hopefully y'all 8.5 years, but it took me 8.5 years to get my life together. Wonderful man of God, as I talked about earlier, Gentry. Doxey is his name. He's my cowboy. He lassoed me.
Hey, Pastor.
Dr. Gentry.
Doctor.
And God had put on his heart for years. We both have a passion for marriage.
Yeah.
We want marriage to work. And we took 16 weeks for counseling before we got married.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Might not take y'all 16 weeks, but
Beautiful.
it took us 16 weeks. And he finally birthed after 7 years of working on. He birthed marriage is good work.
Oh, wow.
It's good.
Yes.
And
It's work. Yes.
You wanna when you work at it, as we are working at it, he and I, we find it's good. And so he has a lot of nuggets in here. And one of the favorite chapters. So y'all can find it on Amazon.com, right?
Share. It's okay. You'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right. So here's one. I got one for the men and one for the women. For the women, for me as well, is commitment.
Yeah.
It's a chapter on commitment, and it's on page 4040. It's a wonderful number. We'll talk about that later. And for the men, and maybe some women, sex is chapter number 10.
Oh, all right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, marriage is good work. The good, okay? And then the work. All of that comes together. Man, so at the event, Release My Daughters, I'm sure there's going to be some daughters in there with some hopes and some dreams of matrimony. Those may have been coming from matrimony, via divorce or being a widow. And some just may be a little bit fearful because of, maybe some trauma that they may have experienced. What are some ways that a woman can either know that it's okay for her to hope for that to happen? Or, with what the Bible says, there is that gift of singleness to be okay with not being married. What is a nugget that you can share?
And you just named it, is our relationship with God. So as I spent time with God, I didn't want to be married. But I believe the Holy Spirit was nudging me that marriage is a part of God's plan for me. I didn't want children, but I felt God's nudging in that 8.5 years that was God's plan for me. So I had my first child at age 40.
Okay.
And my second one at age 42. So there is hope.
Look at there.
So ask you, so what's this? So what it is in your relationship with God, he will let you know. And while he's letting you know, as for me and others, he's gonna break up some things in us. I had to break up my need to be in control at all times. What I look like marrying somebody and I'm in control of. Right. So allow God to break up in you those things that need to be broken. And here we go again. Release yourself from things that you're holding on to. And God did that in my life. And so I say to those women who want to be married, regardless of your age, I have clients right now, they in their late 40s. They may be 50 and they still want to be married. Right? So we go through, this is on the therapy side. Right? So on the therapy side, we're working through some things. And you might need a professional therapist to help you work through. Okay. I believe the Bible, yes, do what God said, and God has gifts of healing. That's right. And I'm one of those gifts of healing as a psychotherapist. So those are the things I suggest you to stay in your relationship with the Lord. And if you need help, get that help you need. You may be from your new friend who knows you to say, you know what, you spend money like it's drinking water. Right. You got to bring that in. You got to reel that in. Or whatever it may be, a personality type, your characteristic. Let God work through you, but allow him to do that through you getting the word of God as well as your interaction with other people.
And creating that space, I find that so many times because we can, and some may be, busying themselves with so much output, so many events, so many books, so many messages, so many songs, so many, feedback from other people, as opposed to creating space for God to just really speak to you. And he can use what he wants, because I feel like he'll speak and he'll confirm. If there is some type of doubt or uncertainty, he'll say, oh, I got you. Let me use this person. Let me use this song. Look at this billboard. He'll use anything just to give you that peace to know what you heard was truly me. So creating that space to know what is his will, what is his plan, because if it's his will and his plan, there's provision there. Sometimes we'll desire things and he's like, I don't have provision for that. You can get it, but you might struggle a little bit.
And stay universal.
Yeah.
Because when I was single, right, it was right here, right there in Florida. You know, where's the guy? Right here in Florida. And I took a missionary trip to Europe to do some work over there as a basketball coach, actually. And I saw chocolate men. I had never been out of the country, not in Europe, Asia, no place like that. And I saw chocolate men.
Come on.
I said, God, my
All
black
over the
man.
world.
For Frida. Y'all got your own preference. I said, my black man can come from Nigeria.
Okay. God, hey, there's no limits to God. He is God. Dr. Frida, how do you manage balancing? Because you seem like you have a lot of hats. You have a lot of responsibilities and things that you're doing, which is so powerful. For the women out there who, you know, they have those aspirations and dreams, but they're moms, they're wives. How do you manage to balance all of those different types of
And I start with this. Women, we are the ones that have chronic stress. When you look at the statistics, when it comes to chronic stress, comes chronic diseases. So it is so important for us to balance our lives. One balancer for me, again, is prayer and praise with God.
Yeah.
Right? He said, I will keep you in perfect peace when your mind is stayed on me. Another balancer for me is my husband. He'll say, what you doing there?
Right.
What committee did you sign up for? Even my daughter say, Mom, you're always busy. Just things like that. And I have set myself up to be accountable to them.
Yeah.
Right? So when people say, how do you do psychotherapy? Oh my goodness. Right. I know it's my gift, number one. I know it's God's place for me. And so when I'm done, I'm done.
Right. That's so good that you say that. I remember when I was deciding on my field of speech therapy, and I was doing some shadowing over at Brooks Hospital, and it was such a significant moment when I was observing the patient with the therapist, and the patient had a breakdown, massive breakdown. They had a traumatic brain injury from an accident, and they didn't remember what happened. So the patient just kept crying, and the therapist just sat there very calmly, helped the patient to kind of breathe, exercises, reminded the patient they had aphasia. And when they left, I said, how do you do this? How do you, emotionally, go through this every day? She says, I remember that I'm here to help, and when I leave, I leave. I leave it here, and I go on about my life. And it took me some years to to gain that ability, because I'm a feeler. I'm like, oh, I don't know how they're doing with it. But God is like, no. You did your job there. Yeah. The door is closed. The end. Now we move on.
Yes.
So that's good. That compartmentalizing.
And get that accountability. I can't stress that enough. Get that account, especially as a woman. We need that accountability. Someone, I love you. Yes, you're my sister. You're my friend. And you need to say no. You say no.
I love that.
That's
a real friend.
That's a real friend. So get those kind of real friends in your life. Even for those who are widows. My sister recently said something to me. She's been a widow for several years. And she said, I think that man is give me the eyes. And I thought, so sis, you ready? Back in there. Okay. And some widows are not.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yes.
And I want us to support the woman wherever she is. If she said, I want to be married, and she's 62, support her. Yeah. If she said, I don't want to be married, and I'm a widower, support her. If she said, I'm single, and I want to be single for the rest of my life, support her. Right? And not to criticize anything. You need to get married, you need to get married, you need a man, you need a man. I want us to stop that harassing each other and support one another.
Last question I'm going to ask, and I have a song that I feel like is going to be a good kind of wrapping up before we get some information out. What advice would you give to a woman? And granted, we talked about balancing, we talked about releasing. You may have someone out there who feel like they're doing it. They're doing all the things. But the issue that they're having is doing it in excellence or with mediocrity. Because some feel like the fact that I'm doing it or doing something should be good enough. But whenever there's a bit of compromise in the result or the presentation, that can be a problem. So what advice could you give to a woman who's...
And I start with Queen Candace in the Bible. She went to David because he had excellence. When she saw the excellence and how he demonstrated everything, his slaves or whatever you may call them, she was so moved by his excellence that she gave of her treasury. So when we walk in excellence, people are attracted to you. and they will give to you.
Yeah.
They, whatever it may be, you may walk into the bank, you may need a loan because you walk in with a spirit of excellence upon you. They must, you know what, we wouldn't do this to nobody else, but we're going to do it for you because of how you presented yourself and you came in a place of excellence. Excellence is a door opener. It's a door opener. I'm telling you, women especially, and I remember a dear friend of mine, actually Dr. McDuffie, she had a cute little saying that she would say about your hair. She said, the days of uglies are over. Don't get offended, y'all. She said, the days of uglies are over. That means if you can't grow it, sew it, and
Baby,
that won't do it,
baby.
glue it.
Grow it, sew it, you know, you could crochet it, you could do whatever. We are without excuse. As Black women, we can do whatever we want in day to day. You want to wear Tiffany today, you might want to wear Tabitha tomorrow. You might want to wear Candace, you know, next week. It's up to you. We have no excuse.
Exactly.
And I love that because I feel like with excellence sometimes and mediocrity, those conflicting traits means that there may be too much on the plate. Something on the plate may not need to be there anymore. That season may be up. It may not have needed to be there in the first place. And it may be something that you need to give to someone else and delegate. And so that would free up that time to walk in the spirit of excellence, because excellence does require more time. It requires more work, more intentionality, more prayer to make sure that the presentation of it is the best. I love what you said, that God will provide, because sometimes when that plate is light, you're like, I need a little bit more, God, because this isn't enough. But he said, those two things, I can multiply that.
Give it what you got.
Which goes to the final song before we finish out our show for today. God Provides by Tamala Mann. We're going to hear just a little bit of that and then have our closing thoughts.
Wow. That's nice. That's nice.
That is so good. Hey, LaShanta. Yes, people are attracted to excellence. Amen. That was so, I needed that.
Come on.
Because it's so easy for the quantity, you know, to sneak in there over the quality. Right. And God is like, when you trust me with the mustard seed, the one or two, I can be a good steward of that one thing, and I will be able to do what I need to do to provide for you that you don't.
Yes. And that goes like to that no piece too.
I was going to bring that up.
No, I can say no.
Yes.
I can say no and be okay with you going, no, come on, you sure? No. But no.
I literally did that yesterday. With working with home health, it's like it's nonstop. And I had to make a decision that morning. I said, I'm done. I'm going to move this patient here, let them know I'll see them next week. It's a no. I need to create space for my mental health. I need peace. I need rest. I am not going to be running after this dollar because, God, you are my source. So I said, and I'm so glad I did, because I feel the benefit of it with this interview and with this day. It's like, thank you, Jesus, because he already knows what's down the line. But you have to make that decision and value yourself and your mind enough to say, you know what, I deserve a break. I deserve, this is enough for today. We'll pick up next Monday or Tuesday. Or whenever.
So with my practice, it is growing. Yeah. And God spoke that it would grow, and I knew that. So when somebody said, I can't make it, and I said, okay, no problem. Go ahead and reschedule yourself. They may call that text. I said, you can text, email, DM me, right? So they may text and say, hey, Doc, I'm sorry, something happened. I said, no problem, just go reschedule.
Absolutely.
Why? Because you said he's my source. He's my source.
And there may be somebody else that's supposed to be in that place anyway, in that cancellation, Frida, whatever guy, who God might have somebody to call you that you might need to minister to in that moment.
Go take a walk, Frida.
Or take a nap. Like,
I'm done
go ahead.
He said, you need to sleep, you need to walk, you need to get some sunshine. I don't even stress about it.
I love that.
Business keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And I told people, like you said, when you make God your source, when you really make him your source, and I'll be talking about that too. There's 5 principles that God has on how we can continue to be the wealthy ones. When we do those things, you gotta worry about your business.
Take no thought.
You gotta worry about
literally take no thought for tomorrow. If I take care of the
Where do you
birds of
worship?
the air.
Where do you worship at? What's your church?
I go to Celebration Church.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm at Celebration Church, Bay Meadows, 9A. Yeah, been there for about 12 years now. So yeah, that's home. But yeah, man,
Absolutely.
gotta stay
So
filled.
we
gotta
teach
stay
our
fed.
daughters. We've been teaching them for forever, and that is we tell them you're a money magnet, and it manifests. We
Yes.
say you're a money magnet.
Yeah.
So not just dollars come to you. My youngest one went to the University of Miami. 90% was paid for.
Come on.
So much so that the last semester they say you got so much money, we giving you 10,000 back.
Come. You better pay me back for my education.
Come on now.
Watch God provide. Come on. Yes, God will provide whatever it is that you're standing in need of right now. I am standing in agreement with you in faith that God is going to provide. You can sleep, you can rest, you don't have to worry, you don't have to fret. Oh, that rhymes. Look at there. Because God provides. Dr. Frida, today has been incredible. Such a gift of encouragement to me, and I'm sure to all of the listeners that are out there. Okay, so you do a lot well. You do a lot with excellence. So you have to tell the people how can they find you, what products do you have available, and where can they find them? And then of course, we got to reiterate this incredible event that's coming up.
Thank you for that. Listen, it's 904-337-9898. 904-337-9898. That's the number. You can reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. My name is Frida Doxey. You'll find me, no doubt about it.
Frida, no I.
No I, Doxey. You can Google me and you'll find me everywhere.
Yes.
So put my name in there and you'll find me. Call that number if you're really in need of psychotherapy and you're in the state of Florida. I only do online, so telehealth. You can dial that number as well, 904-337-9898. And that is also the same number if you want to either register for the seminar, and I encourage you to register. If you want to donate, you say, well, I can't make it, Dr. Frida. Well, donate so someone else can. Yeah. And your donation actually helps women veterans. So we are using, this is going to benefit the Northeast Florida Women Veterans Center and the Jacksonville Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So when you make a donation, that's where it's going to go. You might say, I want to sponsor this. I want to sponsor. So there's many ways to sponsor. Once again, go to www.releasemydaughters.org.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frida. And thank you all so much for listening to the In the Know radio show, happening every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. via your radio or via the app. Hey, if you want more information on this event and other events, you can find me on Facebook at Michellita Taylor, Michellita. You can also go to my website, that's tailormadevoices.com. And don't forget to get your tickets for the 4535 event celebrating the Victory Station, which is happening on Friday, November 15th at 7 p.m. Listen, get a new friend, celebrate that friend, get something sweet, and we will see you next week. God bless. Yeah, that was... God is so good.
That was
when
good.
I tell you,
that was so good.
Canceling those clients yesterday and getting the rest that was needed.
Really?
I know. That's why today was what it was. It has been so much.
Come in here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Tanya, thank you.
This is the place to be. Tell your radio station the Victory. But the Spirit of the Lord is liberty. Tune in to the station that will set you free. Woo! We going up right now. Please tune in. Don't touch that dial. We so blessed and you want to know how. Not talking. We just living out loud.